Hi there! Welcome back to my channel. And if it's your first time here, welcome! My name is Elaine, and today's video is going to be a comparison of my 2022 and 2025 summer makeup look. I will be sharing the products I used, the order of application, and of course, the final looks. You'll be able to see how the two looks compare and how my makeup tastes and preferences evolved or changed after 3 years, particularly for this summer inspired makeup look. Overall, I would describe my summer makeup look as fresh, bright, and juicy. So if you're interested in that, I recommend to continue watching. And here you have a teaser of the 2025 final look because I'm doing this intro after doing my makeup. So if you want to see how I did this look, plus how I did my summer makeup look back in 2022, which was also filmed back in 2022, please keep watching. In 2022, I started with doing my brows and I used an eyebrow pencil. I used the bilena Perfect Eyebrow Pencil in medium brown. First, I created an outline and drew the shape of the brow that I want. You'll notice that I went for a darker brow look back then. Then I just filled them in with a pencil, not pressing too hard and just mimicking the hair strands. Then I combed the hair upward with a comb on the other end. After brows, my next step in 2022 was tinted sunscreen. And back then, I was just using one from a different brand. I used the one from the brand Fresh. I started with applying all over the face, then blending with a damp sponge. You can definitely apply using your fingers, but I just find that using a sponge really helps blend everything faster and easier. I also like using tinted sunscreens because they have the benefits of a sunscreen and they provide light coverage like a BB cream or tinted moisturizer or skin tint. Next, in 2022, I used a pressed powder foundation to set my base. The one I used is from Bilena and it's the two-way cake. I made sure to set my under eye area to avoid any creasing there and the center of the face to set the tinted sunscreen and mattify the face a little bit. Up next, bronzer. Back then, I used my single cheek products like bronzers, highlighters, and blushes a lot. The one I used in this look is from Essence. Here I'm applying it on the cheekbones, sculpting or contouring a little, then also on the jawline and hairline to warm up the complexion. And I'm contouring the nose as well, just to add definition and warmth. For the 2022 look, I used this EB Power Paint as a multi-use product and applied it on the cheeks as a blush, on the eyelids as an eyeshadow, and on the lips as a lip color. I used the shade Sangria for this look. I first applied on the cheeks. I don't think Everbilena carries this particular product anymore, but if you want to achieve this look, I'm pretty sure you can find a similar warm, reddish brown shade from their line. Then I applied on the eyelids. If you're using a multi-use or multi-purpose product like this on the eyelids as well, I recommend going for ones that have a matte finish, just to make sure that it stays on the eyelids and that it would work well with powder eyeshadows that you might want to put on top.
Lastly, I'm putting it on my lips as a base for my lip color. Again, because it's matte, it will be easy to layer other lip products on top.
For the eye look, I used the Squad Cosmetics Squadlet eyeshadow palette. Spoiler alert, this is also the eyeshadow palette I used for the 2025 look.
I used the Serene quad. I first used the darkest shade in the palette, which is like a dark peach shade, and applied it on the outer corners and on the crease. Basically, I applied where the multi-use paint was first applied and then blended it out. Then I applied the glittery shade using my fingers on the center of the lids and on the lower lids as well. After eyeshadow, I curled my upper and lower lashes, a very important step for me.
Next step is eyeliner, and for both looks, I used a brown eyeliner.
In 2022, I used the EB pencil. I made sure to fill the gaps between the lashes and also applied liner on the tight line and waterline. Then I extended the line a bit downward, creating a super soft look with the brown eyeliner.
To finish the eye look, of course, we need mascara. Not much has changed for me over the years in the mascara category. I still love and use Maybelline.
And in the 2022 look, I used the Hypercurl. Overall, I really recommend Maybelline mascaras because they're affordable yet reliable for daily wear. But they're also suitable for more glam or heavy duty eye looks. The waterproof ones also last well and can even survive the pool.
For some finishing touches, of course, we want the glow. So, to achieve that, I used a powder highlighter back in 2022.
I used the EB Glow Out highlighter in the shade Strobe. But I just want that highlight concentrated on the tops of the cheekbones, so that's only where I applied the highlighter on the face. Then I applied highlighter on the cupid's bow and a little bit on the brow bone and inner corners of the eyes. In 2022, I used powder highlighters a lot.
Lastly, to complete the 2022 look, I applied a lip oil.
I used the Flower Lip Oil from Squad Cosmetics and applied it as a lip topper or lip gloss on top of the red lip color I applied before, which is the multi-use paint. And that's it. That's the finished look for 2022. What do you guys think? Does this look hold up in 2025?
Currently, for my summer makeup, I'm starting with tinted sunscreen, and the one I'm currently using is from Luxe Organix.
It's the Perfecting UV Tint Serum Sunscreen with SPF 50 PA triple plus.
I like the formula of this sunscreen because it's thinner in consistency and it blends smoothly onto the skin. It also has a tint which adds a bit of coverage, but mostly it just blends with your natural skin tone while evening out your overall complexion.
I still apply tinted sunscreen the same way, where I apply it all over the face and neck first. But now I prefer blending the sunscreen with my fingers first and spreading it out all over the skin before going in with a damp sponge to blend it. I find that this method ensures that not a lot of product gets absorbed by the sponge. Sometimes I also use the sponge dry instead of damp.
Next, for 2025, I'm adding coverage using my base products. Lately, I've been using either just concealer, so I'm using the Maybelline Fit Me, or I've been layering this concealer with cushion foundation. And the one I'm currently loving is from BLK Cosmetics.
I'm using the shade Sand for the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer. I start by dotting concealer on my problem areas, like my huge pimples, and on some other areas of my face where I need coverage. I also make sure to apply under the eyes, and with what's left on the wand, I also apply the concealer on the center of the face. Then I'm using the cushion puff to blend out the concealer. I find that the cushion puff absorbs less product than a sponge, and it also blends makeup seamlessly. It's also great for blending concealer since you can just keep patting onto the skin on the exact spots where I need the concealer. Then I'm just layering the cushion foundation on top to add more coverage, mainly on the center of the face. I think this technique of concealer first before foundation works the best for me since I want that coverage without applying too much product.
After the base products, I set my face with loose setting powder. I'm using the Nichido Final Powder.
And the shade I use is Creamy Glow.
This is the only loose powder I have in my collection because honestly, this is all I need. It's super affordable, very easy to find or access here in the Philippines, and of course, it works great for setting my makeup.
I'm setting my under eye area and the center of my face. I'm avoiding the cheek area for now since I'll be using cream cheek products next.
Now that the face is set, I move on to the cheeks. And I'm starting with liquid or cream blush. My current go-to is the Rare Beauty Soft Pinch Liquid Blush.
And I'm using the shade Joy, which is a lovely peach shade.
I just like the finish of this liquid blush. It's a little tricky to work with, especially at first, because it's super pigmented. But once you get the hang of it, you'll love the color and glow that it will give your cheeks. And my favorite thing about it is a little goes a long way, which is great because it's pricey. And we want to prolong the usage that we'll get from expensive products like this. So it's nice that the 7.5 ml bottle will last me a long time.
I'm applying 1 to 2 dots per cheek, then blending quickly with my fingers. This blush works great underneath and on top of foundation. I'm also taking some of the blush across the nose bridge for a flushed look. Then I'm blending everything with a sponge. The sponge also works great to absorb excess product. Here I'm just applying some on the eyelids as well as a base for my eyeshadows. I really love this liquid blush.
Up next is cream highlighter, and the one I'm using is from cocokind.
It's the mai-light highlighter stick.
Basically, you can use any cream, stick, liquid, or even powder highlighter. But for the purpose of this video and this look, I'll be using this one because I am currently loving it.
I'm just swiping the highlighter stick on the tops of my cheekbones, then lightly tapping it onto the skin with a sponge. You can also just use your fingers for this. I love how this highlighter stick is easy to use and how it easily blends on the skin while giving a natural looking and healthy glow.
Next, I'm setting the cream cheek products with powder blush and highlighter. But first, I'll be applying bronzer to add warmth to the face and contour a little.
I'm using the Tarte Face Palette in Sunkissed Showstoppers.
Now, this particular palette is limited edition because it's part of their previous holiday collection. But I'm pretty sure you can find similar shades to these in Tarte's current product line.
I'm first taking the bronzer shade to bronze and sculpt my cheekbones. I really like the warm tone of this bronzer shade in the palette. Then I'm creating a shadow on my hairline and jawline as well, similar to the shape of number 3. Then of course I blend everything, making sure that there are no harsh lines. Then I'm contouring the nose as well and sweeping the brush lightly across the eyelids near the crease area. Next, I'm taking the blush shade and lightly sweeping it across the cheeks. I'm also taking it across the bridge of the nose. Lastly, I'm taking the highlight shade with a fan brush and applying it on the tops of the cheekbones. Then I'm applying some highlighter on the center of my face and on the brow bone. Here you can see I'm not adding too much product, just enough to get that glowy look.
Moving on to brows, I'm using eyebrow mascara and eyebrow pencil. And the one I'm currently loving is the Etude House Color My Brows Mascara and the Face Shop Designing Eyebrow Pencil.
I have the shade Natural Brown in the Etude House Brow Mascara, and I use the shade Light Brown in the Face Shop Designing Eyebrow Pencil. Currently, I'm applying brow mascara first before eyebrow pencil so I can fill in my brows quicker. I'm also applying more product on the outer part of the brow where my hair is more sparse. Then with the pencil, I'm creating the shape of the brow that I want, then just filling in the rest of the brow. I make sure that the strokes aren't too thick or harsh, especially on the inner part. Then I just take a spoolie and blend everything. And I also comb the brow hairs upward.
In 2025, like I said, I'm still using the same eyeshadow palette from Squad.
Again, I'm using the Serene Squadlet Mini Palette.
Now, I'm not 100% sure if Squad Cosmetics already discontinued these squads as well as their original 9 pan eyeshadow palettes. Hopefully not because I love them so much and I love recommending them as affordable eyeshadow palette options. In particular, for this palette, I really love this glitter shade in the Serene quad. It elevates any eye look, and I get compliments on my eye makeup whenever I wear this glitter shade on the center of my lids. It just makes the eyes sparkle, and that's really gorgeous.
I start with a peach shade in the palette and apply that as my transition shade, blending up to the crease. I'm also applying it on the outer lower lids. Then I take the dark peach shade and apply it on the outer corners, then blending just slightly below the first shade. Don't forget the lower lids as well. Then with the matte cream shade in the palette, I'm just applying it on the center part of the upper and lower lid. Last but not least, I'm adding the glitter shade on the center of the lid, inner corners, and center part of lower lid to complete this sparkly peach look.
For eyeliner, I'm currently loving the Kate Fit Rare Gel Pencil.
I'm using a brown shade again. This one is shade BR3.
This eyeliner is super thin, like a micro pencil. It glides on smoothly and is smudge proof. I like how precise you can be with this liner, and you can go for a really, really thin wing liner look with this.
I'm first filling in the gaps between the lashes with this liner, then slowly working my way up to the lash line. Then I'm creating a super tiny wing. Here you can see how precise this liner can get. And then I'm connecting that wing to the outer corner, creating a thicker line, but not too thick since I'm still going for a more natural look. Lastly, after curling the lashes, I'm just applying the liner on the tight line.
Alright, up next is mascara. So I'm still loving and using my Maybelline Hypercurl. But for this look, I'm also using the Maybelline Sky High Mascara.
In both mascaras, I'm using the waterproof versions in the shade Very Black.
Maybelline mascaras have always been my go-tos, but Hypercurl is my all-time favorite because it gives length to my short and straight lashes and it holds the curl all day long.
I'm applying the Sky High Mascara first, which is an awesome mascara for the upper lashes. I like how it's able to provide enough length, volume, and separation to my lashes while keeping them curled up and not weighing them down. Then I'm using my trusty Hypercurl for the lower lashes. I'm also layering it on top of the Sky High for the upper lashes because it's really awesome for holding the curl all day long.
Moving on to lips, I love using my Ever Bilena lip pencil to line my lips and to create the outline for my lip color.
My most used shade is Sexy Nude, which pairs well with all my peach lipsticks. I'm first creating the outline of my lips. For me, I tend to overline my lower lip, but not my upper lip since my top lip is slightly bigger. Then I just apply a bit more towards the center, but only about halfway because I want to apply the lip tint in the center to achieve a gradient lip look.
And the last step is lip tint. I'm currently loving the Rom&nd Juicy Lasting Tint.
And the shade I have is Papaya Jam.
This is my current go-to if I want juicy lips, but I also want my lip color to last. This is the perfect formula for that because it has a glossy finish, but it leaves a nice stain or tint that will last throughout the day.
I'm applying the tint all over the lips, focusing on the center to achieve that Korean gradient lip look. I really love how the name suits this tint perfectly. It's a juicy tint that lasts all day.
And that's it for this look. But lately I've been obsessed with lip gloss and glossy lips, so I'm just adding a lip gloss on top of this lip tint. And I'm using the Maybelline Lifter Gloss in Amber, which is a super pretty peach gloss.
So I'm just applying it on top of the lip tint, and that's it. Juicy, glossy lips achieved. What do you guys think of this look? Let me know in the comments below. Also, let me know what other makeup looks, products, or brands do you like to see here in my channel. Now that I'm officially back, I can't wait to share more content here with all of you.
And that is all for today's video. I hope you liked it as much as I liked doing it. And if you did, I hope you also share it with your makeup loving friends and family so I can keep making this fun beauty content and share more makeup looks in this channel. As always, I hope you guys are happy and healthy. I love you all. See you soon. So if you want to next in 2022, I used a powder. It is super affordable, very easy to access. But once you shit. And that's it for this look. And of course, it works great for setting my makeup. My